So another track from scratch video. Also today I will try to build a track, or at least a beginning of a track from scratch. And today I will experiment a bit with the Ricochet device here. That should be quite interesting. And also today I will set a limit of 30 minutes. So let's start and see what we can do with this. I will remove this here. Let's go, for example, with the polymer. And then I will add the Ricochet device. So if, for example, right, I play something, right, you can see basically we get a ball, right, and according to the bounce of the ball here, we get more triggers. We can change the radius, we can change the dampening also, right, so that it will go forever. And according to the velocity, this is also interesting. According to the velocity, right, the higher the velocity, the quicker the ball also will go, basically. Right, and we can add also more stereo widening, and also more sides. And this can create interesting rhythms. So maybe I will try something with the chord, for example. Also today I'm working in the clip launcher. I'm still working on the video about the workflow. It should be ready soon, I hope. But let's see what we can do. Let's try and create a chord, for example. All right, let's go with something like this. Maybe C, G, and then E flat on top, and maybe an F. I don't know, something like this, if I play this. Right, this is a bit too much. Right, but maybe I can make this a bit longer. Let's say 2 bars long. And then without dampening. And then again, according to the velocity, this will change the speed. So if I take the velocity down, maybe this will be the starting point. And then maybe I can change a bit the velocity of each of them. For example, adds velocity spread, right? So they will always change. Right, and we get something a bit more interesting. Maybe an octave down, maybe I can just do this here. And maybe not with the sine, maybe we go with the wavetable. And then spread it also, let's say, with unison here. Right, and add maybe modulation here in a second. Maybe without the filter. For now. Okay, so let's leave it like this for a second, and I will add modulation here for the sound. Now, this is something maybe you can help me out with, that maybe I'm doing wrong, or maybe it's just not possible, right? If I have an LFO, for example, never mind the LFO, never mind if it's randomness with a random device or modulator. If I set this to polyphonic, even though it's free running, it will not reset, it's still very jumpy. And it does reset all the time. Now I understand because it's polyphony, it needs different in phase, but why is it always so jumpy? If it's not polyphonic and it's free, you see it's never it's never resetting with the notes or anything, it's just free running all the time. If I set it to polyphonic, you see it's very jumpy, so if I modulate something, you hear it's very jumpy, which is a bit annoying, to be honest. I wish it could have just been smooth modulation, also polyphonic, especially with the random. I mean, I understand there is the phase issue that they need to have a different phase or something like this, but still, maybe I'm doing something wrong, maybe I'm missing something. I don't know, or maybe it's just the way it is. Okay, so let's see how we can make this a bit more repetitive and a bit more interesting. Maybe, okay, so maybe instead of all of them playing together, we can set them to start like at different points, like they will cascade. Right, maybe something like this. And maybe they will also end at different points. Right, something like this maybe. Right, just so it's not too much here. Oh, this is much better. This I like. Let's try and see what happens when we add some delay. I will use the delay too because it has detuning, which I really like. Right, and maybe add, oh, it's a bit loud here. Maybe add some send reverb that I have here. Always the first voice takes me about 10 minutes. And now, instead of the filter here, the built-in filter, wait a minute. First of all, let's add a bit more with the noise. Maybe the noise can come in and out. Right, maybe do this with a steps modulator, set it to 16th notes, and maybe to, let's say, I don't know, let's say 28 steps, just for fun. And maybe the first step can be all the way up, and it will transition to it, so we'll add some smooth here, and then this will modulate the noise a bit. Let's see. Right? Okay, so maybe it can be a bit more rhythmic because we have here something a bit more repetitive. So maybe keep this voice a bit more repetitive. So for example, we can go with 32 notes. But then it's exactly the beginning of the bar. Okay, never mind. It's okay. Let's leave it like this. And maybe also add, maybe with a random modulating. You see also here with the polyphony, if I turn it off, set it to smooth, right? It's just free running and it's smooth. If I turn this to poly, you see it's so jumpy and annoying, basically. And it's not really helping because it will just create clicks and pops. If I use this, for example, to modulate the sub, right, even though I have it set here to smooth, it's still very jumpy. But just when setting it to polyphony, it's a bit weird. I'm not so sure I understand why, but make this a bit more, and maybe instead of what is it, the ramp, we can go with a square. Right, so we have an interesting sound, I guess. Let's try quickly to add some rhythm to this with a kick. I still need update to the beta 5.3, but I hope it will be released soon. Maybe, I don't know, maybe let's see what this will give us. Let's move this. I will move this one ahead. Yes. What I wanted to do here with this voice, sorry, before the delay, I'm going to add this filter plus. Take down the resonance. right? Add a bit more modulation. Maybe this can happen every... Let's keep this straight with every 4 bars. And here I like this, that there is the hit. Or whatever else we can choose here. Oh, it's a bit too much. Right, just to add some crunch here to everything. Okay. Let's move on to the kick. A bit more click. Maybe I can tune it also differently. Oh, you know what we can do? I will group this, Control G to group, and I will add another kick. And this kick we will process. So I will add here, again, the filter plus, why not? Maybe instead of hit, let's go with push. And then we have to tune this. Let's tune this down to C. Right, and then just a bit of modulation. Maybe this we can have every 5 bars. Right, and now maybe just the sound a bit more, a bit less decay. Right, and now I will send this through the delay plus, fully wet, and take the lows out. Right, so we get a delay of the original kick drum. Right, let's take it down in level a bit. Maybe here add also a reverb. You know what, I will go with the convolution here. What there is the large hole. Let me just solo this for a second. Oh, I know what we can do. So what I will do, I will add again the side chaining here, the audio side chain, and then let's see if I want to take the instrument layer, just the first kick, not with the delay, but the original kick. And then a bit less rise, a bit lower here, and then use this to sidechain or to duck this with the effects. Right, with the delay and with the reverb. Right, something like this. And now, together with the original kick here, maybe this is a bit still too loud. This one, sorry. Right, and here a bit more click. And just for fun, I'm going to add here another delay. Again, take the lows out. Solo this. Right, and maybe with, I don't know, with some built-in blur. Bit ducking. Just to add this noisy atmosphere. Here a bit shorter. Right, so already we have 2 nice layers here. Okay, and let's try and add a bass. Let's go with the polysynth and again use here the Ricochet because this video is all about Ricochet. So again, note effects, let's go with Ricochet, and in this case let's go with this note. From the polysynth video, you know I like the AM mode, crank the modulation or the mix all the way up, so the second one is modulating the amplitude of the first one. add some noise, change the octaves, add unison. I like this sound. I like this sound a lot. This is a nice rhythm, without even touching it, but maybe we can do something else. So I don't want so much. You know what? Maybe. Yeah, I will add more stereo to this because I will add another layer with a sub oscillator. So already I will take the Ricochet here to the left, because here I will again group this, and already I have here the sub oscillator preset, which is. Oh. Why is it not receiving notes from the Ricochet? This is weird, though. Okay, let's see. Let me take the... I don't know. Will it receive from the gate output? No, it receives just from the notes. So anyway, we will do something else. Let's leave this like this for now. Concentrate on this sound. Let me solo it for a second. Okay, so let's try and create something interesting and then something a bit more chaotic maybe. Right, maybe with more sides here, maybe random. Right, because then after this, after the Ricochet, I can add the quantize device, and I can quantize this, for example, to 16th notes. Right, and get an interesting rhythm from this just by quantizing this to the grid. And you know what, instead of going with the full bar, let's take this now to 7 steps, or 7 16th notes, right? So here we have 8, here we have 7. Let's do better than this. Let's go with 14, so twice 7, right? So here we have 16, 15, 14. Let's have a bit more ball speed, but also it will dampen, so it will start with many notes, then it will slow down. Okay, now let me add this again. Why is this not receiving the gates, basically? This is a bit weird. Because it's an AR envelope, of course. I need an AD envelope. AR will sustain also, I don't need sustain. Now I have a sub-oscillator. So basically it's a sine through an envelope. That's the preset sub-oscillator, nothing too amazing. But in this case, I'm going to add the tool device, and take the width all the way down. I don't need a sub-oscillator going left and right. I'm not so sure. I mean, I don't know, it's not a must. You can have the sub-oscillator going left and right, but in my case. Okay, now a bit more effects. Let's go with the delay plus. Again, take the lows a bit down. More feedback. Maybe add a filter envelope here to make this a bit more, right, a bit more snappy. And again, sidechain. Before everything, before I unmute things, I will sidechain this, or duck this. Maybe I will add more modulation here, maybe the random, no need for polyphony. Is it polyphonic? No, it's not. No need for polyphony, maybe just unipolar, quantize this to 16th notes, sync it, not so sure for what. And then modulate the filter. hi-hats. I need a bit more from the kick. And maybe 110, we are still in 110. Let's take this... Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 126. This we can call kick. This will be, I don't know, chord. And this can be bass. Let me go to the kick here, this one. Solo this for a second. Let's work on it a bit more. I don't like the reverb so much. I don't like it so much. Let me try with the reverb I use all the time, the Supermassive, which is available for free, by the way. Let's go with something like the new one here. Dense reverb, short echoes. Much better. A bit less of the lows. Yeah. No need for modulation in this case. Oh yeah. A bit more of a delay than a reverb. Less feedback maybe? Maybe dotted 8? Okay. And maybe a bit more side chaining, a bit more ducking here. Yes. Let's see, let's add, for example, a snare. And also this snare, let's go in this case, let's go twice 5 steps, right? So we have 5 and then we have 10. So 8, 9, 10. 5 steps, I mean 5 16th notes. Right, again, 1 note. And also here I will use the Ricochet because it's all about the Ricochet in this case. And again, I'm sorry, I'm going to solo this just so I can concentrate on it for a second. Maybe this one we can leave unquantized and maybe... I like this actually. Maybe we can modulate the rotation here just to have something interesting. Let's go with the random, smooth, bipolar. Modulate this a bit but slowly. Okay, let's tune the sound a bit. Go with G. I like this with the velocity. And some ghost notes. Okay, but instead of starting here, starting here on the 1, although it's anyway a 10-step sequence, like this. But it's a bit too dark. This is better. Right, and let's add a modulation. 5 minutes. Modulation for the send reverb. Let's go with 16 steps, it's okay, and maybe let's leave it with quarter notes and take the first step up again, make it smooth just so we don't get clicks, and I will choose the send reverb. Maybe I have 3 steps on, let's see. Just 2 maybe is enough, very nice. Let's see what we can do again with quantizing it, maybe with a hi-hat. Oh, I like this. Let's stay with 16 for a second and see what happens. So again, Ricochet. Already I will quantize this, because this was the point here. 2 16th notes. Also here there's the velocity, I like this. Okay, and what we will do, we will have a few of them. Oh, I like this. But maybe 15 steps, I don't know. What happens when I do, or maybe attack? Oh, and modulate the frequency of the FM here. Also randomly, also smooth, also bipolar. Mix. What happens also here when I sidechain it? No, I need this rhythm. Also here, let's add another. I will add another steps, and in this case, let's go with 18 steps. Right, and again smooth, and this will modulate the send effect, the send reverb of the hi-hats. Let's see quickly if I can add another voice that will be more melodic. Let's go again with the polymer and again with another Ricochet. And let's start, I don't know, just like this with 16 steps. But what I will do here, set this to monophonic. Maybe I can use the random. Will I put this before? Let's try after the randomize. Randomize. Right, and then quantize this also, the note key filter, let's say. Oh no, not the key filter. I will go with the note grid, just so I can choose the notes I want quickly before time runs out. Pitch quantize, let's go with this. Right, and I will go with something else. Let's go with byte. Sign here, maybe a triangle, no need for sync, maybe use the ring modulation version here. 4 seconds. Okay, I have to finish this voice here. More stereo. Random. Maybe a filter. Something like this. This was terrible. Let's try and fix it with effects as always. Oh. I will use again the filter plus, just because it has built-in movement here for the panning, and it has this saturation, distortion, overdrive, and sidechaining. I'm sorry, it's... Oh, now it sounds like it's in reverse. Okay, that's enough for today. This is what we get. With Ricochet, lots to explore here. And this was quite fun. Again, the workflow video should come hopefully soon. And that was it for today. Thank you again so much for watching.